Hey guys, welcome to yet another interesting segment on Home Truth Nigeria. So, like I promised yesterday, I said I was going to release a video from my mediation with Susan and the romance scammer. So, just as promised, here is the video. Now, to start with, the dude I spoke with, he is actually a scammer, or I would put it, he scammed Susan. I don't know if he's still into scamming, but he actually scammed Susan. And I have seen people blaming Susan because maybe she couldn't remember certain things. But you see, the truth is, if you've ever been in love with all your heart and you believe the person you're with is the right person for you, sometimes or most times you don't keep receipt of things you do. And I believe that was the case with Susan. She didn't, first of all, didn't understand this romance scam of a thing, and she just fell in love because the guy presented himself to be truthful and real, given the fact that they met on a Christian site. I mean, who comes on a Christian dating site to be deceitful? That was the clear intention of Susan, and that's why she gave her all in the relationship. She was kind enough to be with this guy. Now, after mediation, Susan gave me the permission to share her story. She was very kind enough to do that, so that we could all learn from it. Now, the big question some people have asked is, was this dude actually in love with Susan or not? There are people who felt like, I think they were in love. Both of them are just hot. Well, the answer is no. This dude was never in love with Susan from the get go. I mean, just listening to the way he spoke in the mediation, you would understand that he is nothing but a narcissist. I could only imagine how he would have been speaking to her while they were in the relationship dating. Now, some of you may be wondering if there's any proof as to why I feel like it was a scam relationship. Well, to start with, first of all, he started with a fake identity. The moment you get contacted by any romance scammer and he comes up with a white man's picture who is stranded either in an oil rig or somewhere in Africa, somewhere in South America, somewhere in Southeast Asia. And then after some time, he comes back to you and then he reveals his real identity. And then you start having this feeling like, okay, he's changed, he's repented. I like that he's honest. And then you go into a relationship with him. Well, newsflash, you're still with a scammer. That dude hasn't changed. The only thing that happens is that he just switched role. He just switched role. It's just like traveling on a bus and then you change seats. You're still going to the same direction. Changing seat in the bus doesn't mean because you were sitting in front before and then you moved back doesn't mean the direction of the bus has changed. No, it's the same thing. It's just a very clear and simple analogy. So he changed roles to scammer. So the moment you are meeting a Nigerian man who started talking to you with a white man's identity and then he switches to his real identity and then you feel like, okay, this is the real thing. No, you're still dealing with a scammer. Scammers don't change overnight. If the intention was to scam you, they will scam you. Another thing why I said he's a scammer is the constant money demands. Now, constant demand of money is another way you know you're being scammed. You see, one thing you shouldn't do is to spend so much when you're in love. How do you fall in love and everything that revolves around it is money? And besides, we're not even talking about your husband. We're talking of someone you're dating, and sometimes someone you've not even met physically. So the guy demanded for three things. One, Susan paid rent for him three times. Susan got him generator multiple times, got him a car. Even in the conversation, he was trying to play down the car that I was not in. It's not a big car. It is Hyundai i8. It's not a big car. It's just a small car. Was trying to play down the car. He wasn't grateful for everything the lady did for him. And to top it all, she opened a Bet Ninja store for him. For people who are Nigerians, you understand that we have this huge epidemic of gambling and betting. People wake up in the morning, the first thing they think, especially the youth, they think on how to bet their favorite sports team, football team, playing during the weekend to make money. So it's a huge problem we have. So a lot of people are capitalizing on this social weakness by opening this gambling or betting stores. And Susan opened this for him so that he could, make money, as they say, stand on his feet. So Susan was only trying our best, to see to it that the man she loves and the man who plans, that they will get married and settle down together stands on his feet. But the problem is that the dude refused to stand on his feet because, I mean, standing would mean that he's now independent and he doesn't need money. But that's not the case. He rather stay scrolling so that Susan can be spoon feeding him. And that's one way you know that he is a scammer. Another point is that everything about the relationship was all about him. It was all about him. And this is one way you know you're dealing with a romance scammer. The thing is that with a romance scammer, everything in the relationship revolves around that romance scammer. It's always about his struggles, his difficulties, how he's displaced, he has no apartment, he wants to learn a trade, he wants to learn a business, he wants to go to school, somebody in the family is not all right. It is just always around him. And the moment you see this, you know you are dealing with a romance scam because it becomes very difficult for you to be in a relationship with a guy who calls you every day, makes you feel good, makes you feel happy, and then his struggles, his difficulties, you can't help. I mean, what kind of human being would you be? But you see, this is one way they try to scam you. They know that if they come to you and tell you what you want to hear, make you feel special, you will one way or the other try to assist them with their struggles because they always have struggles. They always have struggle. So assistance will definitely come for you. But anytime you find yourself in a relationship as such, and everything is about the man, his struggles, his difficulty, what he's trying to achieve, what he's trying to do, where he's going to, and you sit back and then you like, wait a minute, there's nothing about me happening here. There's no interest in what do I want to do? What is coming to me? Nothing. But everything is just about this man. You are likely with a romance scammer. And to top it up, to suck you in more, they not make it a family thing. They always would make you have access to some members of the family. So you feel like it's a family thing. It has gone beyond boyfriend and girlfriend now. It is now a family thing. I mean, when you talk about something serious, families are involved. But if you look at it, most times you see that these are very struggling families and they capitalize on your weakness and what you don't know. I mean to say ignorance, and then they play fast on you. And it always results in that guy leaving you and going for a younger lady. It always revolves around that. Now, this guy who I mediated on the case, and after dating Susan for 7 years, wasting her time, wasting her money, and everything, he later left Susan, who, when I spoke to him and asked him, he said, "Oh, age is just a number. Age is a number." He later left Susan and then went to be with a younger lady, a much younger lady, who one he would provide for, and in return, this younger lady would give him kids. From discussing about adoption and surrogacy, he has later gone to be with a woman who can give him kids. Now, how did I get this information? I'd like you to listen clearly.
It's not like that's what I do. She
Okay.
is the first and only. She's the
Okay.
first and only. Now, like this, I won't have a fiance to marry. She's in the same Abuja with me. She's
Yes.
in my house right now as we speak. She's listening to my conversation now as I'm speaking to you.
Okay. All right.
So it's not like being with Western women was my thing, or it's not like it's
Mm.
something that I
I think
planned on
I
doing.
think I think she put it in your file that you have a, I think you're posting yourself with a lady also. You see where this, you see the problem where this, you see the problem is. I
Okay.
try to, because I speak to a lot of Nigerian guys
Okay.
who can just carelessly go into jail and ruin their lives. You see the problem. The
Mm.
problem is you were with a lady uh who is advanced in age. But then when you want to
Yes.
marry, you're going to get married to a younger lady. They can't understand it. They can't reconcile it. So if, for
Mm,
instance, you were with a lady who is older, and then you
mm,
end up having a girlfriend or a fiance who is of or around the same age, older than you, then people could look at it and say, okay, it's your thing. Because let me give you an instance. A Nigerian man comes overseas and then goes to claim asylum and tells
mm.
the immigration people that, oh, he's claiming asylum because he's gay and they persecute gay people in Nigeria. And then immigration say,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we'll give you asylum. We won't persecute you. And then
Mm,
they give this guy the asylum, and the next thing he's
mm,
going to marry a woman.
mm.
He's going to marry a woman. So there's problem.
It doesn't make
It,
sense. Yeah.
it doesn't tally. So
Yeah.
that because I think she saw you had made a post
No,
with
no,
her.
no. She did not. Even
I
my
have to read.
this like this. It's not like that's what I do.
All right,
She
guys.
did.
So the moral to this is date within your profile. Avoid these younger Nigerian men. They don't love you. Avoid these younger Nigerian men. They don't love you. I've been saying this for years and years, and I keep getting cases like this. The reason is that a lot of these ladies, when they come, they don't give me the permission to share it so I can bring it. Susan did well to say, hey, share the story so people can learn from my case. It is always now look at the guy saying, oh, I'm not into Western women. I'm not into Western women. It might be true. He's not into Western women, but he had to put up a white man's identity to go look for a Western woman to scam. He's not into Western women, and he spent 7 years of Susan's time, money, effort. And then at the end of the day, he now went to get engaged to a younger Nigerian lady who can give him kids. And to crown it all, the lady was at the background listening to the whole conversation and she didn't flinch. Why? Because it is normal. It's normal for them to come and scam you, old Western women who are out there looking for love. Go and make the money, scam them. They're not going to see you. They're not going to come to Nigeria. Just tell them what they want to hear. Get the money. Let us get married and live our lives. And that is the typical formula, the use for a lot of you who are coming to argue like, oh no. So the truth is, stay within your profile. Now, what is the next step? So the next step to this case is that Suzanne has made a beautiful she's compiled a lot of evidences and she's submitted these evidences to me. So, what we will do is to write a petition and then send it to the EFCC, the Economic and Financial Crime Commission. We'll table a petition against this guy. We have his identity, we have his name, we have his telephone number, we have every information about him. We'll table this information to the EFCC, and then the EFCC will start the investigation and they would get to him, and he has a lot of explanation to do because this is a classical case of romance fraud, whether you like it or not. Now, for those of you listening, I know some of you may be with a younger Nigerian man, old enough to be your son. And you may feel like, oh, mine is different. Maybe yours is different because there are certain things I've listed here that he doesn't just do. You just feel like yours is a little bit different. It doesn't match up with most of the things I'm saying. However, I would advise you to be very careful because I've seen a lot of cases. I've seen women who have lost it all. And in case I didn't tell you, Susan has lost a lot, including her apartment. She has lost a lot. So uh, if you find yourself in this situation, I would tell you no Nigerian man who you can't give kids is planning to stay with you. Is there for a while. Now, this doesn't take away the fact that we don't have good, nice, and lovely Nigerian men. We do. We have a lot of Nigerian men who are not scammers. We have millions of them all over the globe who are not interested in your money, interested in scamming you. They don't care. But the point is still date within your profile. Don't look at this guy who is young, hasn't had kids, and you think you would make an exception out of him. Maybe you guys will adopt, surrogate and of no, it doesn't work this way. Believe me when I say this to you. So, as always, if you've got question, you want to share your stories, you're free to come to me. Write me on hometruth86 at gmail.com. Guys, like, share, subscribe. Home Truth Nigeria. Peace out.